Welcome to Em.Powercoaching. Em.Powercoaching combines mental and physical fitness to help you connect the dots to unveil a more confident, energized and empowered version of you. So if you're ready, let's get into today's episode. Hello and welcome back to Empowering You with Emma. So today we're going to be talking all about the benefits of exercise that are not relating to body image. The reason why is because there are so many benefits to be had from exercising, and I just feel like there's not enough focus on that. Yes, we talk about it to an extent, however, it tends to be that especially fitness marketing, supplement marketing, media related content that's all around exercising generally tends to be about how you look, whether that's gaining muscle, building a bigger bum, getting six-pack abs for summer, losing fat, whatever it is. It's heavily focused on appearance and using exercise to change our appearance, which, yes, is a fantastic thing. You know, we all have our goals. There are certain things that we want to achieve with our bodies, certain ways that we want to look, and exercise can help with that. And that's fantastic, and it's great to have that goal. But there's also so many other benefits that can be had from exercise that really do deserve a bit of a shining light on them. So I would like to talk about those today. Also, when we learn about all of these other benefits that we can gain from exercise, that can in itself sometimes be an extra motivator. So we don't always tend to stick to our goals, and we're not always motivated 100% of the time. And that will always be the case. We will always have days where we just cannot go into beast mode today. We cannot go and smash that run. Sometimes we can't even get off the sofa to go for a gentle walk. It just can't be done. Those days happen. That's life. But when we add in extra benefits, let's say, into the mix, it can sometimes help. I'm not saying it's a magic pill, but having the understanding of the other benefits of getting up and getting on with exercise rather than just you ate too many chocolate cookies yesterday or whatever, having another reason can sometimes be beneficial and give us that extra boost. So we'll start off to begin with how exercise can enhance your mood, how it can improve your mood. You may have already experienced this yourself when you have participated in exercise or just movement in general, which is really a word that I like to use for exercise. It's purposeful activity. And so that could be anything from dancing in the kitchen when your favourite tune comes on, running up and down the stairs. I don't know why anyone would do that, but, movement. Hello, let's go. Going for a run, a jog, a walk, swimming, Zumba, weightlifting, all of these different kind of things are classed as exercise. And if you have participated in one of those, then you will probably have noticed that once you have completed that activity, you feel a shit ton better than you did prior to doing that workout. And there's a reason for this, a scientific reason, and it's all to do with a release of hormones called endorphins in the body. So when you participate in a exercise or an activity, you're basically sending signals from the brain and it's releasing hormones into the body, and these are called your endorphins, also known as your happy hormones. Pretty sure most of you will have already heard about this or have at least experienced it yourself, so this is nothing new here, but it's just a reminder that we can use exercise as a way to enhance our mood. Now, this is quite difficult if you're feeling quite low one day and you're going through a bit of a rough patch. Sometimes the last thing that you can get yourself up, going and doing is exercise. And so I will say, again, we're talking about movement here. So just opening the front door and going for a quick stroll around the block would be enough to release some of the endorphins and help with lifting up your mood. But again, it can be more difficult than said. I do appreciate that. But it can work absolute wonders. And in fact, medical professionals have been known to provide exercise as a way to cope with illnesses or mental illnesses or struggles such as depression. So, sometimes it can work wonders, and it can help alleviate some of the symptoms without having to go into medication. So it's wonderfully it's powerful stuff, and a great way to use that as another way to really boost your mood. So one to think about for sure. And a stress release as well. Don't forget the different types of exercise. So again, we're looking at things like yoga. If anyone's ever done yoga, you'll know what I mean by this. And if you haven't, yoga places a heavy focus on breathing and breath work, and really focusing on your breath as you move through the movements. And by doing that, by having that focus on our breath, it teaches us to really slow down, take deep breaths. When you're stressed, you tend to breathe rapidly. Everything's very fast, your heart's beating fast, and your breathing is shallow and fast. And so what yoga does is it teaches you to reverse that. It teaches you to slow down. So just participating in that itself is really good for stress release. Exercises such as weightlifting, really great for stress, especially if you are prone to being quite angry, being frustrated, and that's quite a typical emotion that you will see when you're stressed. And by doing a weightlifting session, usually if you're lifting the heavy weights, you're pushing your body through some boundaries, you're pushing it through some challenges. That resistance alone, pressing against that resistance. If you imagine being really, really angry, very, very frustrated, you've got all this energy inside of you. And if you go up to a wall in your house now and you put your hands against that wall and you press as hard as you can, okay, that's resistance. And you'll feel the energy pushing out of you there. And it's a similar kind of feeling that you get from lifting the weights, because you're working against that resistance. And in a sense, it's a release of emotion that's been building up inside of you, especially when it comes to anger. I've seen it before when I have worked with some of my ladies, and they have had a lot of built up anger. They've had quite an emotional week for whatever reason, and they're feeling quite frustrated. And we will start to do some lifting with the weights, and then after the session, they just completely break down into tears. And, they're like, Emma, what? I don't know why I'm crying. I've just done this amazing workout. I've completed it. I've done it. Why am I crying? I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be this way. And I just say, it's fine. This is so normal. This is evidence of all of that emotion being released. And what's happened here is the resistance training has allowed you to do that. Okay, it has pushed you to the point where that emotion just has to be released now. And that can only ever be a good thing. So again, another reason why I always try and promote weightlifting, especially, it's not just about, sculpting a big bum and everything like that. There's so much more to it, and stress release is one of the biggest benefits that you can get from weightlifting. But again, any exercise has been shown time and time again to help with improving your mood and being a really great way to relieve stress and to manage stress. So another benefit of exercise is your energy levels, which some people might be thinking, well, hang on a minute, because if I do 30 to 60 minutes of moderate to high intensity exercise, then I'm going to be bloody damn tired afterwards. I hear what you're saying. Yes, that may well happen. But we're talking about in general and over time. So if you're a person who doesn't tend to participate in purposeful activity on a regular basis, you're quite sedentary, maybe you've got a job that's working at a desk all day, you sat down and then you go home, you cook your dinner, you sit on the sofa, have your dinner, and then you watch TV for the rest of the night. You've got quite a sedentary lifestyle. Now, what you will experience from that is fatigue, and also what's happening there is you don't have much adrenaline going around your body. Okay, so you're kind of in chill mode for a lot of the time, which is great. It's great to be chilled, but you may also experience a lot of tiredness with this as well. So actually by exercising, getting up, moving your body around, getting the joints going, warming up and stretching the muscles, that's waking you up bit by bit. And over time, from doing that regularly, you're going to notice that, you experience your energy levels are much higher than they were from just not doing any exercise whatsoever. Of course, you're improving your oxygen flow, so your heart function, your cardiovascular fitness is going to be improved. So obviously, the more that you improve the oxygen flow around the body, that again is then going to help with your energy levels as well. And, if you are someone who is a little bit overweight, then, by doing the exercise and by reducing the fat in the body, obviously that's going to then make you a little bit lighter, more agile, more mobile. And so you will feel slightly more energetic from that as well. So yeah, lots of ways in which we will see our energy levels increase from exercise. So exercise plays a very key role on the functioning of the brain. So by participating in certain exercises, especially ones where we are challenging our cognitive behaviour, so for example, by that I mean where we are challenging our coordination, our balance, all that kind of stuff, that's really making the brain work as well. So we're almost exercising our brain muscle. Now, a recent study was done in, I think it was September last year, so September 2020, loads more that I can't remember off the top of my head. And this study was conducted over a variety of exercises. So there was Zumba in there, there was weightlifting, running, jogging, walking, swimming. And what this study showed was that 80% of the brain's grey matter is modifiable by exercise. 80%. So grey matter is the area of the brain in which we process information. So therefore, this is where we're looking at things like your memory, concentration, your processing speed, organisational skills. That's what the grey matter serves a purpose for. So 80% of that can be modified by exercise. So you can look to improve that through exercise, which is just bloody fantastic, isn't it, right? For me, especially, I don't know about memory. I'm still working on that one. But concentration, personally, I have noticed ever since I took up exercise and made that a regular thing, it certainly helped with my concentration. Again, weightlifting is and resistance training is what I do. That's my preferred way to exercise, and that requires a lot of concentration, just to make sure that you don't drop a weight on your head or stub your toe. You really need to concentrate when you're lifting those weights, and there's a lot of things to think about in one go. Holding your core tight, embrace, keep your spine straight, tilt at the hips, shoulders back, squeeze from here. There's a lot going on, and it requires a lot of focus and concentration. So if you're practicing that on a regular basis, then you can kind of see how that would help over time. It's only like playing a game on your phone, one of these brain games that you can download on your app. And it's a similar kind of thing where they tell you to practice it on a daily basis. And then over time, your brain becomes more efficient at problem solving and dealing with that with a certain situation. So it's a similar kind of thing. Not comparing exercise here to games on your phone whatsoever. But yeah, just amazing. 80% of that. So yeah, if you want to dive into that study, by the way, if you want to check that out for a bit more information, there will be a link to that in the show notes, so you can delve into that one and have a further reading. Exercise also absolutely key for mobility. Now, as we grow older and our bones start to ache a little bit more, and those clicks and creaks, wait, I don't know what a crick is, clicks and creaks start coming along, you know what I mean, in the knees. Our mobility is so important. You know, if we're looking at longevity here, and we're looking at, you know, our independence and what we are able to do further on down the line and as we grow older, mobility is so important. And, you know, exercising just for a hobby or for the way you look or whatever, like I say, is fine. But mobility, you know, as we start to get a bit older, mobility starts to become a little bit more, or at least we start to recognise how much more important this really is to our day-to-day living. So, you know, we need to be able to move better. We need to be able to just complete our daily tasks, you know. So going shopping, right? When you've got to go shopping on your own and you've got bags and bags to carry back home, you want to be able to do that without struggling. Don't get me wrong, sometimes you're going to struggle anyway, you know, when you've got that big shop or at the Aldi checkout and the bloody putting the pressure on you to get all the bags packed and everything's flying through. I mean, come on, that is a time when you need to be agile. So, you know, if anything, mobility for Aldi, you need it. But seriously, it's really important that we stay agile, because it doesn't matter whether you're slim, whether you're larger built, whether you've got big muscles, whatever it is. If you're walking around like a plank of wood and you're sitting down and your knees are cracking and you're in pain from kneeling and you can't get down on the floor and crawl around with your newborn baby, all of these kind of things, you know, they're so important. And exercising helps with that. It helps us to move. It helps us to keep our joints fluid, our muscles strong. So, and you know, there's lots of different types of exercise that can help with that. There isn't necessarily the best one to do. I mean, obviously, things that are working on your flexibility and mobility, like yoga and Pilates, that kind of stuff, is going to be more beneficial than, let's say, just weightlifting. But anything that's getting your body moving, anything that is exercise, is going to help with your mobility. And very, very important that we have that always. Exercise is great for our confidence and building our confidence as well. Now, I'm a girl who has always struggled with self-confidence. I'm a huge doubter. I suffer from imposter syndrome. I'm always questioning myself and my abilities. You know, I'll be honest about that. I do. And confidence is something that I have always struggled with ever since probably secondary school, I reckon. Maybe before then, but from what I remember, around secondary school. And, you know, the more and more that I work with ladies, the more that I see that confidence is quite a common struggle, you know, for a lot of people. And it breaks my heart because, you know, I'm definitely in a better place than I used to be. I've worked on it. And so when I see people who are really struggling, like rock bottom with the confidence, like my heart goes out to them and I just want to help. And, you know, again, it's one of the reasons why I include that kind of mental training within my coaching, because I see that as being so important. And exercise really helps with building your confidence, and there's different ways that it does. So, for example, it allows you to, or it enables, should I say, you to see what it is that you're capable of, what your abilities are outside of your everyday life, outside of work, outside of family and relationships. It gives you another step to challenge and test yourself and see what you're capable of. For example, if we use handstands, right? Calisthenics, where you're just using body weight training. That requires a lot of balance. A handstand is hard. I don't know if anyone listening to this has ever tried to do a handstand, but it takes a lot of practice. It's very difficult. And just going upside down in general is goddamn intimidating. How often do we spend our time upside down on our hands, right? So even if you do have the strength and the core stability to do it, it's quite intimidating. But if that's something that you practice and something that you keep going at, over time, you'll notice that the thing that probably held you back the most from doing that handstand was actually fear, rather than your core strength or, your shoulder strength or your balance or anything like that. A lot of it's just fear. It's the fear of putting your hands on the ground, kicking your legs up in the air and holding yourself upside down. Because when you go to do that, the first thing you're thinking is, I don't want to face plant the floor. It's going to goddamn hurt if I fall on the floor and bash my nose in and blood's everywhere and, that's me done. These are all the things that go racing through your head. Well, it's what goes racing through my head anyway. So it can be quite scary, and, to be able to break out of that, you have to challenge it. And the only way that you can get over fear is by doing the thing that you fear. So, that's just one example of how it builds your confidence, is that you're pushing yourself to boundaries, and hopefully most of the time you're actually seeing that you can achieve it and that you are capable of doing it. Also, just things like, for example, doing a run, going for, let's say you've got a goal to run a 10k, and you've been training for it, you've been practicing. There was a point in your life when you never thought you would ever be able to complete a 10k run, and then that day comes around, you sign up for that 10k and you smash it. That's such an amazing confidence booster. You've just basically proven to yourself that you can do something. So it's little steps like this that allow you to build your confidence. And usually what comes in hand in hand with starting up an exercise routine or regime or whatever is that you will tend to have other goals as well that you will set yourself. So there might be weekly goals, monthly goals, that kind of thing. And when you hit a goal and when you achieve a goal, these are like little mini boosters of confidence in themselves. So introducing exercise to your lifestyle, it gives you another opportunity to work to something that will be able to boost your confidence. And of course, if you're starting to see physical changes as well, then obviously that's going to be great for your confidence as well. When you can see and feel just happier about yourself and healthier about yourself in general. And then we've got empowerment. So I did a whole episode on how you can use exercise for self-empowerment. And so I did that last week. So if you've not listened to that yet, I would recommend hopping back an episode and, checking that one out. But I do think it's worth a note here as well, because it really is a great way to be able to feel empowered and to build on your own self-empowerment. You are essentially taking control of your own health when you start exercising. You know, when you exercise, you're doing it for a purpose. That's why they call it purposeful activity. You've decided to do that for a reason. You've got up and you've made yourself do it. Even if you've hired a personal trainer, that's still you. That's still on you. You have still made that decision. You have taken responsibility and you're taking authority over your life and what you want. And that is what empowerment is. Empowerment is taking control of your own life and, you know, doing what you want to do. And creating and shaping your own future. So that's another way how exercise can help with empowerment, is because you're actually doing that. Like, you've chosen to do that and you are taking control of your health. And of course, that's transferable then into your day-to-day life, because you're building commitment, you're learning how to be disciplined, because, you know, if you've got specific health goals that you're working towards, then these may well require a certain level of commitment and discipline. And so by practicing this and by doing this, it teaches you how to be more disciplined in other areas of your life as well. So it kind of just crosses over there. And, you know, we can't forget all of the other health benefits that you can get from exercise as well. It cuts the risk of heart attack, stroke, diabetes, colon and breast cancers, osteoporosis and fractures, obesity, depression, dementia, memory loss. Exercise slows the aging process, increases energy, which we spoke about, and just prolongs life. So, you know, what more could we ask for? What more could we really want out of exercise? So, you know, after everything that I've just listed there, all of these amazing benefits that we can get out of exercise, I really hope that it's kind of explained to you how exercise doesn't just have to be purely for changing your body shape and changing the way you look. Yes, it can be efficient in doing that, but that's not what it's all about. Exercise is wonderful for everyone, and I really do strongly believe that everyone should exercise at some point. I mean, of course, you know, they scientifically say that this is what we need to do, but just from me to you, I'm saying, if you're not exercising, you know, let all of these be a reason to do it, okay? It's really important. And, you know, you can just start off small. If you're not already following an exercise routine, just start small. Maybe add in the odd walk a day, like 10 minutes a day, or 30 minutes 2 or 3 times a week. You know, then you can increase to a jog, or maybe there's a dance class nearby that you can get involved with, or yoga, or some kind of online YouTube class that you can do. Anything at all to get you moving and get you active. There's just so many benefits to it. And I think the reason why I wanted to record this show today is because I've been hearing a lot about motivation at the minute, and how motivation is lacking in a lot of people. And so if we can find other reasons to stay motivated, to be able to get up and get active, then there they were. There was the big list for you. Okay, there's even more reason for you now. So it's not just about how you look and what you see in the mirror. It's everything from the inside out, from your health to your future, to how you are with your children, to how you are with your job, and how you deal with that lady at the checkout in Aldi. So I hope you've enjoyed today's show. I am going to leave it there. If you do want to delve further into the wonders of exercise on brain health and the study that I was talking about earlier, there is a link in the show notes, so feel free to click on that and read through the research papers, and of course, you know, make your own opinion from it. But some really great information in there, and come and have a chat with me about this as well. Let's talk about it. Let's see if we can find a way to add some exercise and activity into your weekly routine. I am available over on Instagram and Facebook. So both pages are Em.Powercoaching UK. So you can find me over there. Slide into my DMs, as they say, and come and have a chat with me over there, and let's just talk about it if you want. And if you found this show useful today, or inspiring or motivating, then please share it, because if you found it motivating and inspiring, then chances are someone else will too. And that's kind of what this podcast is all about. I don't get paid for it. This isn't my job. I just do it because I'm so passionate about sharing information that I know with others, so that I can try and educate other people about the benefits of taking care of your own health. And just, I don't know, I'm just on a mission to try and get people to live a more healthier lifestyle, because if anything, it changed everything for me. It brought me out of a dark place, and it made me who I am today, and I will forever be grateful. And all I can do with that to pay my thanks is to be able to share my experience with other people, and hope that other people can start to introduce it to their life. And do you know what? There is never ever, it's never too late. That's what I want to say. Get your words out, girl. It's never too late. Okay, so whether you're listening to this and, 30, 50, 60, 80 years old, whatever, you can start introducing physical activity in your lifestyle at any point. It's never too late. So I hope you're not sitting there thinking, oh, well, it's all right for you because, you're a spring chicken and, you've got all your life ahead of you and blah, blah, blah. Anyone can do it. There's never a bad time. So you can literally get up and go for a walk straight after this. Just do it. Probably not that simple. Anyway, I hope that you've taken some useful information from this, and what I'm saying is please share it. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to other people. I'm sure people will be thankful of it. And at the minute, unfortunately, you cannot leave reviews on Spotify and Google, I do not believe. So it has to only be Apple. So for those of you who are listening on Apple Podcasts, it's all down to you guys, really. No pressure. But no, if you are listening on that platform, I really would appreciate if you could leave me a review. Because it kind of seems to be the only way that we can get reviews at the minute. And reviews are important because obviously they get the podcast higher in the ranking. Now, I'm not bothered where I sit in the ranking, but the higher you are, obviously the more people will then start to see your show. The more people who start to see the show, the more people we can educate and pass this message on. So that's why it's really important to me anyway. And for those of you who can't leave a review, just simple things like sharing a link on your social media pages or screenshotting the podcast and sharing on your stories. All of these kind of things really help as well. So thank you to everyone who does that already. You know how grateful I am, and I thank you for your continued support. So I'm going to leave it there. Any questions as well about the show or just anything, life in general, hop on over to my Instagram page, Em.Powercoaching UK. And before I sign off completely, I just want to remind you that I recently launched a women's health support group on Facebook called Empowered Together by Em.Powercoaching. So this group is women's only, to the guy listeners out there. And it's basically a safe space for women to get together, build a community of women supporting women, lifting each other up, empowering one another to get healthy, share their advice, share the tips, ask the silly questions, quote unquote, and all that kind of malarkey. And, it's so far, it's been absolutely fantastic. The communication that's going on in that group is great. You know, we're sharing our health stories and our health journeys. We're deloading our rambles in there. So it's a really great space just to build your own community of women who are there and who want to support other women. So we're building our little tribe over there. So do come and get involved. It's over on Facebook, Empowered Together by Em.Powercoaching. That's it from me today. Thank you so much again for listening, and I will see you next Friday. Have a great weekend. Bye.